Orimakasu. Oh, we're gonna get canceled so much. Oh my goodness. Hello. That is very true. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to the second. Is it the second? Yes, the second edition of Oedo Bites here at the BC WrestlePod universe here. If you don't know what the Oedo Bites are, that is your Stardom review team here at BC WrestlePod. I am one of your hosts, Mikey, and of course, joining me is my super kawaii Puerto Rican brother over here, Adolfo.
Konnichiwa.
I have missed you dearly, even though it's only been a couple of days.
Yes, I know. It's actually odd not being there and being here.
For reals, which means to tell us we got to do that more often.
Right.
Here's to next year. But we are here. The Oedo Bites are here tonight to review a double feature for Stardom, if you will, that happened over WrestleMania weekend, or the Collective, or any other major independent promotion flocking to Vegas to house shows happening. It was a great time. There's lots of wrestling for everyone. But this is the final review of WrestleMania 41 Hell Week, as this is the final show that took place over Mania weekend. And we are here to cover American Dream 2025, both Sin City and Neon City.
Yep. And we do know that Queendom 2025 did happen this past weekend. Don't worry.
We will be reviewing that next Monday.
Next month.
Which I'm excited for, because All-Star Grand Queendom is like a big time show. And lots of things happened at that. So before we get into the review, if you've been following us for a long time, or if you're new here and you like what you see on your screen, or even if you don't, that is okay. Make sure to leave us comments on the YouTube and the Twitch page, and follow us on the social medias and let your voice be heard. Literally, if you go to any social media site and you look up at BC WrestlePod, you will find us pretty much anywhere and everywhere. But before we get into the review, Adolfo, we have a lot of news to talk about.
We got news.
So we have 4 bits of news that we're going to share, and I'm going to try to go in order in which they happen, because they all happen within the span of less than 24 hours. So here we go. So the oldest, and I put that in air quotes, news is something we already knew, that since we were talking about Sin City and Neon City tonight, Mina Shirakawa has finished up with Stardom. These were her last 2 Stardom dates, her last 2 Stardom shows, and she will be reporting to AEW full-time shortly. I mean, who knows how long before she gets on AEW television, but this upcoming week on Thursday, she will be going one-on-one with CMLL's La Catalina on Ring of Honor. So that's going to be a fun match, honestly. And I can't wait. I'm excited because I have never seen La Catalina and Mina Shirakawa fight each other before. So this is going to be a fun one. So,
yeah. I mean, every time you get that Lucha and that Joshi style together, it's always a good time. So,
oh, absolutely. So I'm excited. We've known this was coming. But then the next 3 things we did not. Well, one of them we did see coming. But the other 2 were kind of a surprise. So first, in the main event for Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom in a career versus career match, Tom Nakano, unfortunately, was the loser of that main event match, and she is officially retiring from professional wrestling, and she's just going straight into retirement. Usually Stardom does like a road to retirement. You kind of like, you have a last few matches against some people and then you're officially retired. No, Tom doesn't want any of that. Nothing like that. So she's officially retired, and she is going to enjoy her life, which Tom has been in Stardom since its inception of 2011. So she's one of the OG girls. And so she decided that she's going to hang it up. And you know what? Tom has been a staple for Stardom since its inception. So I'm super happy that she gets to go out on her own terms, and I wish her nothing but success in whatever she chooses to do next. So, good. So that was one that we knew. The other 2 also include some other folks that are finishing up with Stardom that we did not know until this past weekend. So first and foremost, let's talk about, our Gaijin of Miss Thekla, who we're going to talk about here, but she lost her match at All-Star Grand Queendom. She was forced to join the Cosmic Angels faction, and she was not having it, so she attacked the president again, which we'll talk about in a little bit here, and she quote-unquote got fired from Stardom. In reality, Thekla has finished up with Stardom as well. She will be heading to the States. Don't know where she's going to end up, but, I wish her all the best, and I'm going to let Adolfo speak because he had some interesting thoughts on this in the Blue Sky earlier today about that.
Yeah, so I was bummed because, we're brand new to Stardom. I really enjoyed Thekla. I enjoyed the way she wrestled. I enjoyed her interactions not only with the fans, but, with the rest of Hate. And it was just very, very entertaining. So after, seeing her like 4 times and finding out that she's done, I was kind of bummed. I'm excited to see where she ends up. But then that also brings worry, which this happened when Stephanie Vaquer went to WWE. And I had voiced this, I'm worried about how she's going to be treated. And we kind of talked about this beforehand, not to get too deep into the weeds about it, but I loved that characterization that she played in Stardom. Right. It was, like I said, great, entertaining, especially bouncing off of Hate, the faction that she was with. I'm worried that if she gets picked up by WWE, that number one, they're going to treat her like enhancement talent, which I feel like, she's already she's already done time and paid her dues, and has wrestled big matches, so she knows how to handle that. But number two, if she does try that characterization, they're just going to write her off as a Rhea Ripley clone, right? And then I'm worried if she goes into AEW that they'll go the simple route and kind of write her into a rivalry with Mina Shirakawa right away, which they're done with that. Like I feel like they had their thing through Stardom. Mina's done, Tekla's done, like, and now I want to see Tekla evolve, and I want to see, because I feel like she can be a Mariah May, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, like top tier, Thunder Rosa, top tier wrestler like that. I'm worried that they'll like write her into a rut, but we'll see. Like Mikey said, still nothing has come out as to where she's going to land. She has gotten representation. We do know that much. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I mean, crazier things have happened. She could go to WWE. She could go to AEW. She can also go to some of the smaller promotions, like TNA would be great. Like I reported yesterday to the group, last night at the TNA pay-per-view, we got a new signing for the women's division, which makes me excited. So Indy Hartwell, love her. She already got merchandise on the TNA store. Love her. Nice. Great. But probably for me, the biggest shock for me, because she has also been a staple for Stardom in 2011, is that at All-Star, Grand Queendom, Mayu Iwatani lost her IWGP Women's Championship. I was like, okay, she's had like a 700+ day reign as championship. So I was like, okay, cool, fine. I was like, let's see what she have next. She announced at the press conference that she's leaving Stardom too. She is finishing up with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it is truly going to be a new era for Stardom.
Yeah.
So unlike Tam, she's finishing up with Stardom. So I'm pretty sure Mayu Iwatani will probably be making her way to the States as well. So, which is a big get, because behind Julia, Mayu Iwatani is also probably the most well-known Stardom wrestler to come out of Stardom. So I would not be surprised if you have her go to WWE, because Julia and her have history.
Yep.
You can also put her. There's so many promotions she can go to. Where Mayu Iwatani wants to go, like, I'm here for it. So, but yeah, that one was the most shocking. I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
It's a very interesting parallel that Stardom and NJPW are kind of running right now, because NJPW is kind of going through the same thing, where a lot of their, dare I say, like main roster, like players have like left to go other places, and now they are kind of going through that resurgence, if you will, almost as if it's a pay-per-view they're gonna have. Anyway, they're going through their resurgence renaissance, and it looks like Stardom is following suit. It's very interesting parallel. I'm excited to see where we go with Stardom, because they do have a lot of great talent coming up. And like in these two shows that we saw, there's also a lot of great talent that's like gunning to get into Stardom. So let's segue into talking about the shows.
Yes, we had a mixture of Stardom girls and girls in the US who are looking to maybe get into Stardom, which is great. So we got 2 shows to cover. Thankfully, not all of them have like 10 matches. So it was a nice, digestible 2 shows to watch, honestly.
Yeah.
So we're going to kick things off. We're going to start with the show that happened first, which was Sin City, which took place Thursday, April 17th. And we kicked things off. Go ahead.
Shout out to the antler chandeliers. That was... Loved it.
I love that for both shows. We had 2 different venues. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good. I love it. But we're going to start with Sin City, which took place on Thursday. And we kick things off with a tag team match where we have not new to me because I seen her in AEW and ROH, but we had Maserati teaming up with Starlight Kid to take on Ram Kaichao, who is in another Joshi wrestling promotion, and she is teaming up with somebody we also know and love, Miss Azumi.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Azumi is going to have a busy schedule because she will be back in action in that triple threat next week on Friday for that New Japan Strong Women's Championship.
Yep.
First of all, I love Ram's whole aesthetic. I was like, give me gothic, give me Lady Gaga-ness. I'm here for it.
Yeah. She had a very ghost mystique about her, Ghost the rock band, which was definitely cool.
I really, really dug this match too, because again, I am very familiar with most of these girls except for Ram, but I loved her style and I loved her wrestling. I think this is a fun one. And of course, it does help build up for what we would see at All-Star Grand Queendom, because between Sin City and Neon City, Starlight Kid and Azumi are in the same faction, but they also be like, hey, we cool with each other, but we also want to be at the very top. So
Yep.
This was at the center, and it just happened that Maserati and Ram Kaichao were a part of this as kind of like the tag team partners to further that story going on. I was really impressed with Maserati, and I continue to be so. She has a very unique style of wrestling, and I was like, I forgot how tiny she is too.
Yeah, she was definitely enjoyed watching Maserati work. Had a lot of great power, but also a lot of great agility as well. And also the story that she was in an accident or something like that, and like was out for like 8 months or something. And this is like, she's just recently coming back from that. Like that was really cool. I thought she was definitely a very good team up. Both these teams were I felt worked really well. Because whereas Maserati did have a lot of power, you had Starlight Kid with a lot of the speed,
right,
and a lot of the rope work. Ram, kind of the same thing going on. Ram, it felt like she brought a bestial force to her and Azumi's team, where Azumi brought the technicality. I loved Ram's characterization, and if I don't somewhere down the line see Ram versus Abaddon, I will be very disappointed.
For reals, get all the GCW too, which I know it's a long ways away, but I'm excited to see who's going to pop up for Tournament and Cage of Survival too. And me and Andrew can't wait for you to baptize you into the extremeness. You thought what you saw was crazy? Oh no. But ultimately, Azumi and Ram do pick up the win here.
Yep.
So again, commentary also was very nice in letting us know that every time Azumi and Starlight Kid have gone up, whether it be in tag team or trios matches, Starlight can never be on the winning side of things. And that continues to happen too, which we'll get into when we get to Neon City as well. But this was a fun opener. Shout out to everyone involved. This was great. We move on to our next match, which again, I loved because we are familiar with some of these people. We, of course, on the left-hand side, we have TNA's Jody Threat, who I love so dearly, teaming up with Suzu Suzuki, who we last saw at, Spring Break 9 when she fought Masha Slamovich.
Mm-hmm.
And they are taking on the team of somebody we fell in love with in CMLL when she was part of the Amazonas Grand Prix, and Sayaka Unagi, teaming up with someone new to us in Irika. So I love everybody's look. This was great. I love Sayaka so much.
Yeah, she's very fun to watch. And very, very dynamic. And that's one of the reasons why we loved watching her in CMLL, because not only was she able to pull off like the high difficulty flying moves, but she wasn't afraid to mix it up and like get in people's faces. I gotta give a shout out to Irika's ring gear, which said noticed me. on it, and like it was really really well done. Yeah, really well done. She's one of the talents that the announcers said that was gunning to try to get into Stardom. And apparently she also last year was on the ring team that like set the place up and everything for the Stardom shows. So, good on her that now this year she's in the ring. Jody Threat was so much fun. They kept saying like she was a mosh pit, a personification of a mosh pit, and I would see that. She was really, really fun. A lot of power. You could definitely tell that Erica was the greenest of the bunch. No pun intended, because her ring gear was green. Or did they mean to do that? I'll put my tinfoil hat on later about that. But I feel like she had great dance partners with these three, especially Jody, because Jody, she looked really seasoned. When she got in, she like, she got those reps going. So it was a really good match.
So, fun fact about Jody Threat: she's only been wrestling for 7 years.
Yep.
And she has been trained by, of course, somebody you might be familiar with if you've been following AEW, is the walking weapon himself, Josh Alexander.
Yes.
So, but I love Jody. I love her because she and Lady Frost are the current embodiments of it's never too late to learn wrestling, because Jody is in her 40s, but she is so good. And of course, if you haven't, I'm plugging in TNA, I don't care. But if you haven't, Jody Threat and Danny Luna, who are the tag team in TNA known as Spitfire, they are both so good. And it was really smart to have Jody paired up with Suzu, who we saw at Spring Break 9 as being like a very strong style, mostly using graps and kicks, and just also throwing girls around the ring too.
Yeah.
So I love Arika and Sayaka, but unfortunately they were no matches. Jody and Suzu picked up the win here. It was so good though. I love this. This was a fun one.
Yeah, this was a fun match.
Oh, so we get into our next match, which is another tag team match. This one had Saya Ida and Hanan taking on the team of Kelsey Heather and Hazuki. So Kelsey Heather, of course, another girl that commentary mentioned was trying to get into Stardom as well. And I was just like, she's giving me Carmella vibes, and I'm here for it.
Well, I mean, they did say that she trains at the dungeon, and
Natty Neidhart.
Natty Neidhart is one of her senseis, senpais, whatever. But other than Tekla, I love Saya Ida.
Right?
I love her. Oh man, little ball of power. Yes, sir. It was great, and she takes a beating, which we'll see. We'll talk about in Neon City. Yeah, she was great, and she was definitely playing that whole like power. I am the power portion of this tag team. Whereas Hanan was doing a lot more the faster moves and whatnot. Kelsey Heather looked really good for being new. She looked really good. And I felt she worked really well with Hazuki and Saya Ida and Hanan, selling all the things. This was a very entertaining match.
It definitely was. And again, this is where this was the point of the show where you can start to see, oh, okay, so these are or at least with Saya and Hanan, these girls are in the same faction. So of course they have the chemistry together, in which Hazuki and Kelsey did their best, but ultimately it would be Stars who, the Stars faction of Saya and Hanan picking up the victory against Kelsey and Hazuki. This was a great match. And then we went to intermission. I was just like, I forgot Stardom shows have intermissions.
Yep. They
Just
went
like
into
progress shows,
intermission.
there's intermissions halfway through the show.
Yeah. That caught me off guard too. Also, like the little tech issues that they had at the beginning
Hey,
or throughout.
yeah.
It was,
I was
I
like,
thought,
this is truly an independent show. I love it.
I enjoyed it. To me that added flavor to it. So, but yep.
So I mentioned that this was the beginning of where we would see full-on faction versus faction and the girls and the factions working together. And there is no better case than the match that happened after intermission, which was the Empress Nexus Venus, which is Hanako and Miss Mina Shirakawa, taking on Hate, being represented by Momo Watanabe and Natsuko Tora. This is not the first time we have seen Momo. This is not the first we have seen of Natsuko either, because she was part of Dream at the very beginning of the year. Of course, we are very familiar with Everybody Wants Mina. Mm-hmm. Listen, I love this Joshi crowd. Like, I need AEW to get into it, but the whole crowd already did the Mina Shirakawa chants immediately. I'm like, yes, give it to me. I love that Mina is playing the straight man too. She just walks out with Mina doing her whole dance. And I'm just like, Mina, I love you. You are fantastic. But this was such a good tag team match. This is true Stardom, what Stardom's known for with their faction on faction tag team matches. This was so damn good. I loved it.
Yeah. I would like to talk about Hate, harass, abuse, terrorize, and
exterminate.
Is it exterminate?
You know what? I don't want to be clocked, so let me look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, but they are so heel, and it's like they are so over the top heel, and it's fantastic. Momo coming in with her baseball bat and swinging it around. Natsuko, doing the whole blowing the stuff in people's faces. Also, Natsuko, loved your hair. I love that, right. Like the white with the cheetah print. It was good.
Oh, okay. So it is harass, abuse, terrorize, and eradicate.
That's what it is. But and they work really well together. That I felt that's like what elevated this match. I also felt seeing how this technically, even though I watched Neon City first, in the real timeline, Sin City came first. As this was the last weekend of Mina Shirakawa, I did feel like they wanted to try to showcase her and have her go out, on a good, with good feelings. I felt that Momo and Natsuko did a great job to assist her. And, shout out to Hanako as well. Like, she worked really well with Mina, but she went punch for punch with Natsuko, who is the power over on that side of the ring. But she held her own, and it was very entertaining. Yet again, Momo, you need to target who you're swinging at a little bit better, because that is what unfortunately cost them the match, was Momo Watanabe swinging with the baseball bat and connecting with Natsuko, and then allowing Mina to get the 1-2-3 on Natsuko. Which I forgot what they called that pin that Mina got, that maneuver, but that was an impressive looking pin. So
it definitely was. And of course, after the match, we do get Mina on the mic thanking everybody. Hanako also talks a little bit too. It was great. I loved it. I was like, no. I was like, well, we're spoiled because Mina's about to come over full time here in the States, but man, what a great send off for her, at least her here, but she won't be done because she got one more match in Neon City we're going to talk about when we get there. But very good from all four of our Stardom girls here, and this was great. So now we get into the semi-final match of Sin City, which was also mixed with some Stardom girls and some girls trying to get in. We have our Latina lesbian here, Viperous, who, you know, the new power couple of Viperous and Abaddon. I am fully here for that agenda. But Viperous is teaming up with Sayori to take on Calientita and Konami, who, again, in the timeline of things, we saw her at Bloodsport first before we got here to Sin City, and it was still good to watch.
Yep.
Shout out to the Latina girls trying to get to Stardom. I love that.
Oh man, if they make it, I would be so happy,
Right.
and excited for them if they made it. So this, of all the matches, I felt this one had some hiccups. Not saying that it was a bad match, and it was not entertaining, because it was still entertaining. And you know, these four put out their all, and it was, you know, and that was great. I just feel like for people's rookiness was kind of showing in this match a little bit, for me at least, especially with Sherry and Konami, who you know, they're just, man, they were just everywhere. Like Sherry hitting all those, like all that mat technician stuff in the beginning, was good. But you know, like I said, still entertaining. I'm trying to remember who ended up getting the win.
So towards the tail end of this match, again, everybody was like in a video game spamming like final moves, but ultimately it would be Sayori and Viperous who do pick up the victory.
Right. Yep.
So this was great. I agree with you. I think this match definitely showed these are four girls who don't tag put together. I was still entertained, but there were a couple of miscommunications on both sides, but it still ultimately was a fun one for sure.
Yep.
And if I wasn't in love with Viperous anymore, now I am. Even more after this. I love me some Viperous now, man. Like, I can't wait to see more of her on the independent. So who knows? Her and Abaddon might be showing up everywhere, so I'd be here for that. But you know what? Shout out to Calientita. I was like, I don't know who you are, girl, but now I'm a fan. Like,
shout out to Calientita. She, you know, she was in there doing it, and it was good. So, you know, I can only see her going up and getting better.
Absolutely. So let's get into this main event, though, because my God.
So
in our main event for Sin City, we have two former friends fighting it out against each other. This is Micah being represented by Cosmic Angels. Oh no, sorry, not Cosmic Angels. Micah is with Empress Nexus Venus. We're taking on Hates Thekla. So these are two friends now turned adversaries, opponents, if you will. Dem girls went hard, and this was the hardest hitting match of the whole card. I'm like, oh my God, somebody check on them afterwards.
Oh man, that chokehold that Thekla hit on Micah towards the end there, where she struggled to get to the rope with her foot. Man, I was like, wow. How are you still breathing through that? Which just speaks to how professional they are, you know, and probably how well they know each other and are able to work with each other. But yeah, these two just went at it, and it was a good like 25 minutes of just like two girls just whooping on each other. Micah hitting a lot of great power moves off the top rope. You know, like the power bombs with Thekla off the top rope. Thekla doing that whole creepy turning herself around and you know, looking like she's from The Exorcist thing. Didn't like that one bit. Nope. Nope.
So I'm gonna write this down. Take Adolfo to haunted houses.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a great main event for this show, and what made it even better was at the end when they were trying to keep kayfabe, but they were still at the same time, like, saying,
Looking back on this, I think this is the beginning, because now that we know that
yeah,
Thekla is done in Stardom, I was like, there we go. I could see it because so all intents and purposes, Micah does win here. Fantastic match. Thekla does get on the mic first. Both of them talk. So Thekla tells Micah, we were friends at one point. You decided you wanted to go, be with Mina in her squadron, but now that Mina is gone, all Thekla has to say to Micah is good luck. And so she tries to leave. Micah comes up from behind and gives her a hug. And Thekla, trying to keep character, but the real girl coming out a little bit, she reluctantly accepts the hug from Micah before
pushes her away.
He pushes her away and leaving. I'm just like, in hindsight, I was like, this was the beginning of the final times we would see Thekla over the course of this week.
Yeah.
So this was a fun main event, a great way to send the crowd home Thursday happy. And then that has been American Dream Sin City. So we do not have an intermission. So we're going to just jump straight into it, because now we're going to get into Neon City, which happened the following day on Friday. And this was such a fun show too. Smaller card, but it was still a fantastic time. I had such a blast watching this.
Yeah.
And so we kick things off for Neon City with a tag team match. We have Rochelle Rose teaming up with Mina Shirakawa, and they are taking on the team of Suzu Suzuki and Hazuki. So again, everyone except for Rochelle was in the previous night on Sin City. Yep. And this would be Mina's final Stardom match.
Yep, Mina's final Stardom match. Shout out though to Rochelle Rose, who got married that weekend and went and wrestled. So
her honeymoon is this wrestling event.
Yep. And we're just gonna talk straight with her, straight about her, because she came out with Mina. Mina was doing her shimmy, and at the beginning, Mina did take the mic, and did congratulate Hazuki for being the Spark champion, and she called Rochelle over to try to like shimmy with her, but Rochelle was like, nah, no, and she just hauls off and on Suzuki, on Suzu Suzuki, which, like, ding ding ding, the match has started. This was a great opener, I thought. We saw a lot of great wrestlings from both sides. Rochelle worked really well with Mina, but at the same time, it was a good showcase of Mina for her last appearance with Stardom. I love that move that Mina does, where she sinks the figure four and then gets the person for like the DDT and then drops both of them. I love it when she does that. This is my chicken scratching notes, so I'm trying to paraphrase here. Oh yeah, Rochelle Rose, beautiful plancha. I love me a good plancha. She had a great plancha off the top rope there. Towards it seemed like Rochelle and Mina at the beginning had the lead, if you will.
Momentum, yeah,
had the momentum, but towards the end, after a big kick to the face, Suzuki and Hazuki hit a beautiful German into Cradle, which is broken up by Hazuki, and then she hits a big power bomb onto Rachel and pins Rachel Rose. Hazuki pinning Rachel Rose for the 1, 2, 3 and getting the win for the day. Suzuki and Hazuki worked really well together. It's great. It's a good match. It was a good match. It was a really entertaining opener, and I felt was a good way to say goodbye to Mina. And also, good on Mina for allowing, even though she didn't eat the pin, but like for being like, yeah, I want to lose so that I can get these other two over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so as Adolfo said, this is Mina's final match in Stardom. She will be reporting to AEW full time now, and we will be seeing her this Thursday against La Catalina on Ring of Honor. So I'm excited. I've missed Mina. I can't wait to see what she does in AEW. But this was a fun opening match. We get into our second match of the afternoon, which saw Sayori taking on Kelsey Heather in a one-on-one match. And this was also a fun one, too. I enjoyed this one.
Yep. Yeah, we Kelsey Heather, who we saw the previous night before, also with a professional cheerleading background, for different NFL and NBA teams, and that was definitely on Showcase. She was doing a lot of, as the kids call, flippy dippy stuff. She did. I love the spot where, so what Kelsey Heather did was she tossed Shuri into the corner and then did a like cartwheel into front handspring thing and then like into Shuri. I love that spot. It's so
me
good. Too. And she hit that like so. It's so nice. A great example of how these two worked well together was that Kelsey was about to hit a moonsault, but Shuri countered it and wrapped her up for a 1-2 ooh, which was a lot of fun. Shuri was laying hits into Kelsey. It was Yahoo! Like she hit this one face buster into a knee strike into Kelsey. I was like, ooh, man, hope she has a dentist available.
For real.
But in the end, Shuri hits a sleeper and gets the submission for the win. It was entertaining.
It definitely was. I'm so happy I hope we get to see more of Kelsey because I think she is fantastic.
Yeah.
I felt like in this one-on-one match, we got to see her more. I mean, that's kind of true for most tag team and trios matches, if you will. 6-person tags is like everybody's working as a group, but then one-on-one is when you see what they can do. And I like Kelsey's style. I love Sayori's too, but I want to see more of Kelsey. So I think this was a good showing for both of them, honestly.
Yeah. I don't mean this in a derogatory way.
When you started off like that, I'm just kidding.
I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but I feel that Kelsey's style would fit perfectly in with like NXT WWE brand.
Right. Get to finesse her. Well, I mean, commentary said it. She was in a gymnastics background and she's training and she's still learning in wrestling. And ultimately, that's what NXT does. They take a lot of athletes from other sports and then turn them into WWE style wrestlers.
Yep. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if down the road we see Kelsey in WWE in one shape or form.
Right. So I'm also interested too, because with WWE's ID program where they're getting, these independent talents and stuff like that, it's going to be interesting for sure. But we move on to probably my favorite chaos match.
Right. Intergender.
So this is a mixed 6-person tag team match, which we saw on one side, we have the DKC teaming up with Saya Ila and Hanan of Stars, and they were taking on the team of, Bullet Club War Dog member, Defy Wrestling men's champion, and overall bad boy Clark Connors, and he was teaming up with Hate, being represented by Thekla and Natsuko Tora. This was chaos. I loved it.
Yeah.
And this is what intergender needs to look like. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The team of Clark, Connors, and Hate just dominated this match.
Makes too much sense, honestly, too.
I mean, it does. My heart went out to Saya. Oh man, because I felt like she really got just the brunt of it, and she kept coming. I mean, she had that cool bit, kind of like the night before where she did like the murder grandpa chops, so she got a little offense in, which was nice. That was nice. And then the DKC and then Hanan and Saya all hitting like the chops together. That was nice. But Hate just, oh man,
they were just being hateful and they beat up on the other team like they're supposed to.
Hateful. Oh man, yeah.
This was just so much fun and controlled chaos. I loved it.
Yep.
This was so much fun. As you said, Clark and Hate do pick up the victory here. And then this was where got pit stop number 2 because Thekla gets on the mic.
Yep.
And she calls out the president of Stardom that she wants to fight him. I was like, ooh, girl, what's happening? So he's like, no. So Thekla goes and grabs him from the table, drags him to the ring, and attacks him. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, that's, and it's funny because when I saw the news from Queendom that Thekla had attacked the president and flipped everyone off,
got fired.
Yeah, and then got fired. Like, I was like, wait a minute, didn't that happen at Neon City as well? And I literally today had to go and rewind to that point, and I was like, yeah, no, that did happen. Okay,
she did it twice.
She did it twice. So I guess that was it for President Okada. He was like, 2 is it.
It's like,
no more.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me
twice. Right?
Yeah, I was just like, oops.
Yep.
And I sold that, by the way, too. It was great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He sold it really well. And shout out to Natsuko for getting the pin in this match.
Redeemed herself from the night before.
Yep. Because she ate the pin the night before. So, it was fun match. This is what intergender matches need to be, and I don't understand why we don't see more of them. Thank you very much. Good night.
For reals. Thank you. So this was a fun one. We get into the semi-final match of the evening because, again, this was a shorter card. But this one was also was really great, too. So we had Maya World, who also we see her in AEW and ROH, teaming up with Starlight Kid, taking on Azumi. Of course, we know and love her. But somebody we also recognize, too, from, Rev Pro and the stints in CMLL that she's been appearing in, and Johnny Robbie.
Johnny Robbie. Yeah.
I was like, yes!
From the NJPW dojo.
Yep. This was so good. First of all, whoever did these promo pictures, Maya World, the mug is right, girl. Like, yes. She is giving me Bratz dolls, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, but and I love that the arm wrap thing that she had. I felt like that was like the trendy thing for the weekend, was that arm wrap thing.
Trend alert.
Yeah, right. This was a really, not sound like a broken record, really entertaining semi-main event. I feel like it was definitely showcasing Starlight Kid and Azumi more, especially towards the end there. Where they started butting heads and clanking belts together, because apparently they are going to be wrestling, or they have wrestled already.
They have wrestled at All-Star Grand Queendom for the for Starlight Kids Championship.
Well, and also for the control of Neo Genesis.
Yep, who's going to be the leader of?
Yeah, who's going to be the leader of their faction?
Neo Genesis. Yep.
Yeah. But. Yeah, it was just a solid match from all 4. I'm excited to see more Maya World. I'm excited to see where she turns up. I have a feeling. I mean, we've already seen Johnny Robbie, in CML and all that. I have a feeling we'll probably see Maya World popping up in ROH, and GCW. I feel like she would work really well in the GCW roster if they have one of those. But yeah, This was a great match, building up for Starlight Kid Azumi. Give me more.
Yes, and we will be covering Starlight Kids and Azumi's championship match next Monday when we cover All-Star Grand Queendom. But let's talk about this main event because we were blessed with a 6-woman tag team match in which we saw Empress Nexus Venus, which is Hanako, Micah, and returning to Stardom for this show, Miss the Mega Sis Megan Bayne. And they are taking on Hate, which is Momo Watanabe, Konami, and unofficially question mark part of Hate in Calientita.
Yeah, we'll see. Not to jump the shark, Megan Bayne, Hanako, and Micah, they got the win.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. Megan Bayne, it was very interesting.
Let it out.
Having seen Megan Bayne so prominently on AEW television as of late, right? And the characterization that she plays on AEW TV, it was very interesting seeing her just kind of like fall back into line with Hanako and Micah. Like, and it felt like they were all equals. You know what I mean? Because the Megan Bayne, the Megasis. I mean, she's dare I say, ninth wonder of the world type, situation. Like she shows up and with her headpiece and just everything, and she's just like, boom, right? But here, like all three of them, it was just like, oh, it's like when I draw 3 Sarah Angels in my Magic deck. I'm like, yes, hit them. I don't want to say that the roles were reversed on Hate this time around in this match, but I do feel that Megan Bayne, Hanako, and Micah really did take it to Momo, Konami, and Calientita. I feel if Calientita does get picked up by Stardom, I feel like Hate would be a good spot for her, but I definitely want to see them work more with her characterization because, like, Momo Watanabe and Konami were just like, we are Hate, we're here, we are, we're badasses, and we're gonna beat the crap out of you, right? But Calientita, like, she had like glimmers of that, but she. Again, I would just attribute it to her being new and like this probably being her first like big, and it was, I watched the shows and it was a fucking lot, right? So I could just imagine her not, coming off of the night before and then probably also having other shows that she had to go to that weekend, right? Like, so I could understand how how like she had the nerves going, but like, yeah, if she actually does end up joining Hate, I really want them to work with her characterization because I feel like she has the potential to ooze that type of machismo, if you will.
No, I
that
the
rest of Hate oozes. So.
Mm-hmm. So again, this was a fun main event. Megan, Hanako, and Micah all pick up the victory here. It's really fun to see Megan do the typical Joshi bow to the crowd as we go in off the air. So it was nice. And that was the end of Neon City, which that brings us to the end of American Dream 2025. I really enjoyed these 2 shows put together, and it actually was a lot of fun watching them back to back or separate days, depending on, how we did it. But overall, I enjoyed it. And while I felt that this American Dream was more of a show in isolation, because outside of Azumi and Starlight Kid, and the planting of what would go down at All-Star Grand Queendom with Thekla. This was the show in isolation where it was good matches, really strong showcasing for Stardom girls as well as US girls who might be new to the scene as well. So I still thought it was a really good show and I enjoyed it, but I'm really excited to cover Grand Queendom next week.
Yeah, yep. We're back in Japan. We're back on their home turf. I didn't say this. I don't think I said this in any of the other reviews I did for Hell Week, but kudos to the talent, especially in this situation, because they all probably had to, take red-eye flights or whatnot to get
back to Japan in time.
Yeah, well, to get from Japan to Vegas, right? And then be there to do these 2 shows. And then, take another red eye to get back from, Vegas to Japan. So kudos for their hard work. Also the crew as well. Kudos to them. Thank you for bringing this to the US.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 Stardom shows that are in the US,
if we're lucky enough. Yeah
because we had these 2, and I believe there's one more. There's like a Chicago show or a DC show,
something like that. We'll keep y'all update once we get all that sorted out.
But I know logistically it's a nightmare, but I wish, and we were talking about this off the air. I really wish I could somehow see Stardom more often, easily. I will, because I enjoy the product so much. I will go out of my way to watch it on Stardom World or the oh god, what's the name of that website?
Like the Live Gate or whatever. Too.
Yeah, the Live Gate. I will go out of my way to watch them because it is that entertaining. But I feel that Stardom deserves to be in some way, shape, or form brought to the U.S. masses, because I feel that this fills a niche that is not being met here in North American wrestling.
No, I 100% agree with you. And again, this was such a nice appetizer, and I cannot wait to review All-Star Grand Queendom because, like you said, we're back on home turf. We're in Japan. We talked about at the very beginning where we had people retire, people are finishing up with Stardom, and it truly is a new turning point for Stardom as a company, as we are now beginning the end because of All-Star Grand Queendom. We are now entering a new era for Stardom, and I'm actually excited that we are now on this train to be able to witness this turn for ourselves and get to experience everything in between. But that is going to take us to the end of this episode of Oedo Bites. Again, we will be back next Monday to cover Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom 2025. Cannot wait. Lots of championship matches involved, lots of talents. I cannot wait. But to kind of hold you over until then, while we may or be officially done with WrestleMania Hell Week, as this is the final review of that whole entire week and a half of wrestling that we've been doing, we are going back to our kind of normal scheduled program. I say normal because this week is also jam-packed. So tomorrow, we are going to kick things off with our regular scheduled programming with the All Elite Ensemble review. Where we will be covering Dynamite and Collision from this past week. Yes, even amongst everything else, I managed to watch Dynamite and Collision, which has been crazy. And it's going to be a special episode because this is going to be the birthday episode for me. So I get to hang out with the AEW boys on my birthday tomorrow. So I'm excited. I will be forever 21. Just kidding. I will hit the 32. I cannot wait. It's going to be fun. But then come back. If AEW is not up to your speed, make sure you check out our double reviews on Wednesday. Because first, It's been a hot minute, but the NXT crew is back at it again. NXT Losos, the sexiest NXT review show out there on the internet, is back in full effect to cover NXT as we are now building towards Battleground over Memorial Day weekend in Tampa. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But if you want to see more goodness, you can come back at 8 p.m. Pacific for Los Lobos de la Lucha, where we will be covering the 69th Arena Mexico Viernes Espectacular show, where we saw we had the debut of Billy Starks in CMLL, which was great. We also had the final three triangular matches to figure out who would be in the finals of that. We had a CMLL versus MLW match, which was also good. Like, you need to come by and see all that. Then introducing as the newest promotion to our ever-expanding base of operations here at BC WrestlePod Thursday will be the introduction of our first Mystery Wrestling review. Me and JVL will be here to cover Mystery Wrestling 15. That is Evil Uno's promotion out up in Canada. And the Grapple Gumshoes will be here to talk about all the things Mystery Wrestling, from craziness. Listen, Mystery Wrestling was craziness. We had a hot dog man. We had a Sasquatch who had a rap video. We had Cocaine Bear. Like, if you want to watch us try to piece it all together, you need to come by on Thursday to watch this.
I saw Cocaine Bear and I saw Mr. Evil Uno saying he's getting it all over my ring.
The referee took cocaine. It was crazy.
Fantastic.
It was fantastic. So y'all need to come by because it's going to be a hoot. Then on Friday, yesterday I was there live, but the TNA crew will be reviewing the Rebellion pay-per-view. So the Six-Sided Scholars will get together to review TNA Rebellion, which happened yesterday on Sunday, April 27th. This was a fantastic show. I can't wait to review it with my TNA folks and also share some insights of some stuff that may not have made the pay-per-view airing. And then we wrap everything up with this Sunday as Dual Dynasty is back, as we cover Raw and SmackDown and talk about everything, as we will be leading and probably giving our predictions for WWE's Backlash, which is happening next Saturday, which is going to be kind of crazy as well. So we're done with WrestleMania Hell Week, but it is still a jam-packed week as well. But I'm excited to get back to the shows we didn't get to cover last week. Well, I mean, you got to cover, El Buntador got to cover CMLL, but I'm happy to get to be a part of that.
Yeah, and that hack, El Buntador.
For reals. I will say, though, I am happy that in all the shows, we will be getting Papa Oso back for a lot of this. So I'm happy that he's back in full effect now that he's officially
we got to see if he'll watch some Stardom with us.
Yes, I think he would love it too. Really, but I will say, me and you will need to talk to him. He doesn't get a choice. Hopefully he doesn't have anything planned. But next Saturday, he needs to do the watch along for Lucha Apocalypto with us next Saturday.
Right.
Yep. Which I'm excited because it's CMLL. But honestly, we need to find a third too, because I think Will would. I mean, he did Wrestle Kingdom with me last year, I believe, too, alongside JVL. So hopefully we can get him to watch this.
Let's do it up. Stardom, baby.
For reals. I mean, I got him to watch Canadian wrestling with me, so why not?
Right.
So we are looking for a third for Maple Leaf, so we'll figure that. I'm gonna figure that out offline. But that is gonna be it for us here at Oedo Bites. So tomorrow night, stay tuned as the All Elite Ensemble crew will be back in full effect. But for myself, Adolfo, and the rest of the BC WrestlePod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you tomorrow for our All Elite Ensemble AEW review. But until then, sayonara, adios, and this is BC WrestlePod signing off for the evening. Ta-ta for now, and see you tomorrow.